Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our webinarium. My name is Valdo Kalm. I'm in charge of the group, and
I'm Sander Zai. I'm the CFO of Tallinn.
all right, as usually, we will start from main events from Q3, and we have had quite a busy quarter, and the most important, I would call also good news, is the growth of cargo volumes in Q3. There we have seen growth in all cargo types, altogether 7%. Also, we have seen growth in 9th month, but important is that there are also more ships calling in. Also, we had first green type of the vessel in Muuga, and express feeder launched a new methanol vessel. It now runs on biomethanol, and they made their first trip in Q3, and they will continue. And they also promised to bring another or next green vessel to our terminal. Also have had increase in passenger volumes. Q3 was quite good in Helsinki route, also in Stockholm route, because of two vessels in Stockholm, and we believe that the volumes will increase further on. Very important for us was the signing the ferry service agreement for the next period. And of course, that's important for the group, but for TS Laevad also. I guess the conditions what we signed are good for us. There is possibility now for investment to gain more efficiency. I mean, we are thinking about the new hybrid or totally electrical vessel for Saaremaa link, and also regular made additional trips. Did good job during Q3 also. Icebreaker Botnica had two contracts for the summer period. First was with BP, but unfortunately, due to the technical reasons, the contract ended earlier with BP, but now Botnica is in a good order and already worked for our main partner in Baffinland very well. The period is already ended, therefore also Botnica is in a good shape. Of course, this affected our Q3 results because of extra cost. But if you take 9 months charter days, then we basically had the same number of charter days as last period. We got EU funding for our Twin Port 6. That's really good news, because the funding says that it's 50% for the design and construction of onshore power in Muuga. Excellent news, and we're already designing the electricity connections in Muuga port. Then we signed unsecured loan agreement with Swedbank with better conditions, and then are some court cases. First of all, that was the termination of MPG agro production. reorganizing proceedings and following bankruptcy proceedings. That's good news to follow with bankruptcy proceedings, and hopefully we will see the end of the process. And then we appeal to Harju Country Court decision in relation our old board members. And we're working still with efficiency, describing the processes, and due to that we digitalized some of the part and then re-engineered. We also managed to decrease the number of employees by 6%. The main trends by segments, as I mentioned, Q3 was strong, all good also in passenger side, and not only a passenger number increased, but also the vessel calls and then the revenue. And on cargo side, we had increase in all types of cargo. Also, there was increase in vessel calls and ended with higher revenue. Ferry business shows very stable development with small increase in passengers and vehicles, and Botnica segment or other segment we already described. We had shorter period, but we started earlier with this BP project, and all in all, we had the same charter days in 9 months than last year. There are numbers on passenger business Q3, and also we have growth in 9 months. Important is the number of ship calls, and on cargo side also growth in 9 months. Our ferry business shows stable development with small increase, and Botnica we mentioned and described already. Future outlook. We believe that the passenger business will recover and that will continue. So also we see the bookings for cruise vessels for the next period, but shows also increase. And as we mentioned, there is a new container line in Muuga. We believe that there is room and space in Muuga also for Ro-Ro line. If we will see the continuous growth of Ro-Ro, then we believe there is room for additional line. Developers shows interest towards how offshore wind farms based quay and harbor, and the development goes well. As we mentioned last quarter, then we will be ready end last year or beginning of 26, and we made 3 international offers. Then we preparing for the real estate business model. We are quite close to announce the tender, but it depends a bit on market situation, because there are a lot of development ideas about business real estate, and therefore we have to follow market. But basically, I guess first half next year we will have some tenders for developers. And we're preparing, and we have the plan together with our main owner to reduce the state's shareholding. But it's really up now to our ministry, who have to bring the topic to the government. And hopefully we will have some news even this year. We're working on efficiency, and we're working with our industrial parks. We are very active on finding the new operators or customers in Muuga Industrial Park and in Paldiski. It's interesting time. There are 3 serious projects ongoing in Muuga and in Paldiski. If there will be some news with concrete contracts, then of course we will let you know. Yeah, please, Andrus.
Thank you, Valdo. Adding on with the financial results, the group results in the third quarter were strongly impacted by higher cargo volumes. Also, the number of passengers continued to grow, but the one and only negative impact came from the Botnica operations as the ship was chartered out less days. So all those factors impacted our financial results. Revenue in the third quarter decreased by 0.7% to 31.2 million euros, which is about 200,000 euros less than last year. Positive impact to the revenue came from vessel queues, as we had more vessel calls both in cargo harbors and in passenger harbors. Also, passenger fees increased based on the higher number of passengers. Cargo charges also increased in connection with the higher cargo volumes, and we had also bit higher revenue from the ferry operations, and rental income also increased. But the negative impact from Botnica operations was a bit higher than the positive impacts from the other revenue streams. Just EBIT decreased by 1.7% to 13.3 million euros. The drop is similar in euros as it was in revenue. So we can say that the cost level was flat year-on-year basis. Operating costs, there was controversial impacts inside the operating costs. We had extra repair and maintenance costs in connection with the Botnica incident, but at the same time we have managed to decrease the maintenance costs in cargo harbors, and also positive effect came also from the lower land tax, as the tax rate was reduced in the beginning of this year. Just EBIT decreased by 0.4 percentage points to 42.6%. Operating profit period was 7.3 million euros, and it's in euros similar as in revenue level, so the entire impact came from revenue. We didn't pay any dividends in the third quarter, so we didn't have any income tax, and profit for the period was 5.6 million euros, which is 6.5% less than in the third quarter last year. It's a bit higher than it was in EBIT in euros, so we had also higher interest expenses this year based on the higher Euribor. In the third quarter, we invested 8.4 million euros, which is 77% more than last in the third quarter last year. Main investment project, like in previous quarters, was the quay construction in Paldiski South Harbour, and in the third quarter we also reconstructed one quay in Muuga Harbour. The 9-month period revenue increased by 2.5% to 19.8 million euros. The increase in euros was 2.1 million euros. The positive effect came from ferry operations, from rental income, also the sale of electricity was higher, and on 9-month period, the revenue from working operations also increased by 10% because we had very strong second quarter, and the summer charter this year already started in May. Last year it was in June. And the positive effect from the second quarter was stronger than the negative impact from the third quarter. So all in all, body operations showed higher revenue. Adjusted EBIT increased by 5.4% to 40.9 million euros. It includes using euros is also similar as in revenue, 2.1 million euros. So the cost on 9-month period also flat. There was a slight decrease in operating costs and a slight increase in personnel expenses, but all in all, the cost level was flat. Adjusted EBITDA margin increased by 1.2% points to 45%. Operating profit was 23.2 million euros, plus 16%. This the increase here is a bit higher than on EBIT level. Last year in the first quarter, we had one of extra depreciation or amortization costs as the write off some fixed assets in accordance with the change in legislation, as the threshold for recognizing the assets as fixed assets was increased. So last year we had elevated cost level, this year we didn't have this impact. And the income tax dividends was 3.1 million euros, and profit for the period 9 months for the 9 months was 14.9 million euros. The increase was 14.1%. Invested 33.4 million euros, which is about threefold as much as last year. So the main investment project this year have been the quay construction in Paldiski. We're ready to serve the offshore wind farm construction and electric maintenance. In the third quarter, we constructed one quay in Muuga. Also the harbor, we constructed one quay, and we had also in the first half of the year regular docking works for one of our ferries. When we look at the results in segment terms, we see that in this third quarter, both revenue and EBITDA increased in passenger harbors, cargo harbors, and in the ferry segment. And the negative impact was attributable to working operations in the segment other. In the passenger harbors, revenue increased based on a number of passengers and more vessel calls. In cargo harbors, also we had more vessel calls, and in connection with cargo volumes, also we received more cargo charges. The ferry segment, the increase is attributable to the indexation. 9-month period, both revenue and EBITDA increased in all segments, with one exception in the ferry segment, where the revenue decreased about 100,000 euros. In the ferry segment, the EBITDA drop was in connection with the severe ice conditions in the first quarter. We had higher fuel costs in the first quarter. But the revenue itself has increased due to the indexation in the ferry segment. Passenger harbors, the revenue increased a bit due to the revenue from the sale of electricity. Also, the rental income has increased. In January, one of the regularly operating vessels, Finlandia, was docked, and therefore the vessel was absent from the line. But the strong third quarter had offset this negative impact. And cargo harbors revenue also has increased a bit because of higher rental income, because of the support of the third quarter as the cargo volumes showed high growth, and also we have more vessel calls. But the growth on EBIT level has been even higher. This is the result of efficiency measures. We have made less maintenance and repair works this year than last year, 9-month period. And in the segment other, like already mentioned, the revenue from Botnica operations increased by 10% despite of the technical issue in the third quarter, and also the EBITDA increased in the same extent as on revenue level. On cash flow side, cash from operating activities increased, indicates the higher revenue, and payments to suppliers were also lower. Cash used in investing activities reflects the high investment level this year. It was minus 32.9 million euros. Free cash flow was 7.4 million euros. Cash used in financing activities minus 15 million euros compared to the minus 31 million euros last year. In May this year, we took into use the new loan, unsecured loan, of 20 million euros. And we also made more loan repayments than last year, and also the interest expenses were a bit higher. So the total impact on financing activities was minus 15 million euros. And the net cash flow for the period was minus 7.6 million euros. And net debt at the end of the period increased by almost 20 million euros. It's to explain that we had less cash in bank accounts. The outstanding debt itself was quite similar as the end of September last year. And on financial position, cash in bank accounts increased in connection with investments. Also, the net non-current assets increased due to the investments. Debt has also increased as we took a new loan, and equity reflects the impacts from the dividend payments and period. So that's all with the slides. Like always, we have some extra slides about revenue and EBITDA generation. We want to comment these. Our presentation is uploaded on our website, and if you have any interest, you can browse them later. And now we will make a short break, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes to answer your questions. Thank you.
All right, let's continue with the questions what we have.
Received through the Teams. The
Mhm.
first question is regarding the IRR, which we use in our project. Increment internal rate of return for Port of Tallinn, usually what we take into account in the project is about 8% at least.
Right. And that's what we will try to follow. All right, couple of questions about the Paldiski offshore wind farm port. When the Paldiski wind farm based port is expected to start generating actual revenue for the port of Tallinn? Hopefully we will be ready by the beginning of 26. I guess then by the tenders what we have had so far, and we made 3 offers already. We hope that there will be revenues and then profits from 27. That means we need some, of course, documentation and how to say, warming up the keys. But yeah, hopefully 27 we will see the concrete revenues and profits.
Now we have some questions sent up front to email, so we comment on those questions.
When the construction of offshore wind farms planned in Baltic Sea region, specifically in Baltics, and when could the Paldiski port will generate the real turnover? Just I answered to that, but in Baltics, we hope that the first offshore wind farm will start in Lithuania. And therefore it's still very interesting and exciting region for us. What is the alternative use for the Paldiski base port if the offshore wind farm should not go into the operation, whatever reason? Honestly, we're building this quay for dual use. We have already concrete customer that's Minister of Defense with serving the NATO troops and ships and vessels. But honestly, our Paldiski port is very busy. We can't take any regular Ro-Ro line to our port because all the quays are occupied. If there are really very long delays or postponing of the contracts for offshore wind farms, then we definitely can use a key for Ro-Ro and to find operators there. The government of Sweden has rejected some of the offshore wind power projects in the Baltic Sea. Will there be some effect for the Paldiski investment, or are you going to postpone the investment? We see there are some effect, but honestly, so far we not made any offer in the tenders to Sweden. We did 3 offers to other regions, and therefore we don't see such a huge effect. They rejected only the part of the plans, not totally, and of course Sweden is also interesting country, but there are other areas to build and then maintain. And as I already mentioned, the key what we just now constructing is dual or triple use. That means we can use their very good ramp. We can use it for military and for the RoRo. Therefore, we are not going to postpone the investment, and we believe that there is many possibilities to use the quay and also backyard of the quay. All right. There was a question about TBT. That's the fertilizer operator in Muuga. Do you see that there are a risk of bankruptcy, or what are the other alternatives? Honestly speaking, we don't see the bankruptcy case, at least yet. Of course, we don't believe that there will be transit of fertilizers during the war. It's not possible, definitely. And at the same time, there are already some other, not the transit business, but some other fertilizers business going on. Big Norwegian operator came in and operating via Muuga. Therefore, let's see. But at least now we don't see any bankruptcy development on DBT.
Next question regarding the public operations in the third quarter. Can you tell us how much the negative impact on operating profit this quarter was from the early termination of the GT project and also from the repair costs? The total impact was of about 2.5 million euros. So it came from lower revenue and to repair costs. Can you expect the European Commission grant money recognized in cash flows this year? Yes, we have some signs that we will receive some grant money already this year. Just to remind that the EU support will be 10 million of the 20 million, which is the project cost, or 50%, and some part of 10 million we will receive probably in December this year. And the last question is how much of the group 33 million of investments made in 9 months is related to the key construction in Paldiski. For about 29 million euros of the total investments were made in connection with the Paldiski project during the 9 months.
Okay. All right. Then thank you for your questions. Thanks for attention and all the best.
All the best.